Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. This video is sponsored in part by Top Deck, and we'll take a look at them after round one. Joining me today for a sweet league with Douthy Depths, which is a mono black deck that has been making some waves in challenges, is a relative depths expert, Michael Mapson. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm excited to have you. So for the people who don't know you, will you just give us kind of a 30-second background on who you are and how you're involved in the Legacy community?
I play a lot of Magic, a lot of it Legacy. I specialize with Merit Late strategies, and I am a host on the Dark Depths podcast.
Awesome, and I'll be sure to go ahead and link that in the video description for our viewers. So, when I reached out to you, I kind of expected that we might play some green-white depths, but this deck has been making some waves. So, what had you excited about trying out this deck? Because I know you haven't played this Dark Depths deck specifically.
Well, I mean, I've played it some, not a ton. Um, yeah, I was planning to play Green White originally too, but this deck has been putting up waves. It's just whenever you see something new, kind of putting up a good performance, got to try the shiny new thing out, right?
Oh, absolutely. So, in case you're not familiar with kind of what we're going for here, our goal is to make a 2020 indestructible tentacle monster that will kill our opponent in a single shot in most cases. And we can do so either by activating Thespian Stage, copying it, allowing us to make a Dark Depths with no counters, or we can use Vampire Hexmage to kind of rip all of the counters off the Dark Depths to make our Merit Lodge. But this isn't the whole deck, right? This is only a portion of the deck. We have Expedition Map to kind of go and find them. What's going on with the rest of the shell here?
So Urza Saga turns out is a really good Magic card. Stop me if you've heard that before. Um, So Urza Saga does a lot to tie the deck together, right? It finds you your Pithing Needles to kind of protect your combo. It finds you the expedition maps that you talked about, which kind of help you find your combo. So that's part of the deck, and sometimes you win just by making big constructs or making big constructs and attacking it, attaching a Shadow Spear to it. Um,
Yeah, like this
right.
this card doesn't really look like a legacy playable card at first, but in reality, it's surprisingly good. When you gain back at least a lightning bolt worth of damage every turn, you can hold back a lot of threats from Delver that aren't named Murktide Regent.
Yeah, and another thing about Shadow Spear is equipping it to a specifically a Merit Lage is really good. One of the issues that Merit Lage faces right now is, Delver has a lot of flying threats, and people are playing Endurance, and some people are playing Ice Fang Waddle, and some people are playing Flicker Wisp. And there's a lot of times you're just like, okay, I have this big giant thing, but you just kind of get held back, and then they prismatic ending it. Being able to find Shadow Spear just means, okay, I don't really care what you have, you're dead.
Yeah, like the trample there is really good. And kind of speaking of really good, I really like the fact that this deck can Dark Ritual out some really annoying cards. Dark Confidant provides a great card advantage engine for a deck that has a super low curve. Like we have 21 one drops here, 24 lands. You're not going to take very much from Bob on average. And Opposition Agent has done a surprisingly good job at stealing games. I just 5-0'd a league with another mono black deck that where I absolutely just Dark Ritual Opposition Agent and got a couple of free wins.
Yeah, Opposition Agent is a really annoying card when when it resolves.
Yeah, and like there's a surprising amount of like tutoring and searching in Legacy beyond just fetch lands. Your like Elvish Reclaimer, Knight of the Reliquary things that serve as tutors, your Infernal tutors and whatnot. You can do some gross things. And Dalthy Voidwalker as a way to just shut off graveyards in game one, or otherwise just serve as an unblockable creature, is pretty reasonable as well.
Yeah, Drothy Voidwalker has been very impressive to me, actually. It's kind of sneakily good against Delver. That deck is kind of a graveyard deck in disguise, which I know is kind of not that much of a secret anymore, but just being able to stop Dragon's Rage Channelers from hitting Delirium or stopping Murktide Regents from ever being cast is really huge game. And then when you combine it with the discard in this format, you get to do some pretty gross things. Like I've had to turn 3 Emrakul out of this deck.
Oh, that's cool. But I hope we can do that. And kind of like speaking of the graveyards, in the post sideboard games, we have Leyline of the Void as well as Helm of Obedience as sort of a juke win condition. And Helm of Obedience also works with Douthie Voidwalker. So if you control either one of those permanents and activate your Helm of Obedience, you're going to mill your opponent out, which is really cool. So your opponent has all of these different things that they have to worry about. They have to worry about Dark Depths Merit Lodge. They have to worry about you just like locking up the game, uh, like an opposition agent. They have to worry about these alternate combos. And I think some of these non-blue decks that just attack from a couple of different problematic angles end up being really strong. You can also just beat your opponent to death with constructs.
Yep.
All right, I think with that said, let's go ahead and roll into the league. Folks, if you're new here and you like what you see, please consider subscribing. And if you're a regular, please throw me a like before this video begins. That's the easiest way to support my content for free. Let's battle. All right, round one, we're on the play here. I'm not feeling great about this hand. What are you thinking? It
Yeah, no,
it
this
can
hand's
get
probably
mapped, but it's super slow.
this is definitely a mulligan.
I'm with you. This one's a little more interesting now that we're on 6. We have Dark Ritual Opposition Agent as a turn 1 potential play, and we can keep a couple of lands. What are your thoughts on this one? Keep?
Yeah, I would keep this one.
What don't you like? Voidwalker?
It's between the Voidwalker and the Hexmage. I think you could make a good argument for either. Personally, I would put the Hexmage back. You
That
already
sounds
have the
good since we already have
stage.
a stage. Yeah. All right. So the $1,000,000 question is, do we main phase or maybe our opponent's upkeep Dark Ritual Opposition Agent? Or do we try
I would
to?
wait and see if they crack a fetch.
Okay.
I'm greedy.
Greed is fine.
It's probably wrong. It's probably right to main phase.
Let's upkeep it. I've just been punished so many times by my opponent going like fetch land go, and then it's like, well, am I waiting on this opposition agent for another turn? Yeah. So for those of you kind of following along at home, you oftentimes want to do that in the upkeep so that a dark ritual can't be force of negation. Oh, we are playing against goblins. So our opposition agent is going to be pretty good in this matchup at shutting off like the matron type cards. All right. Are we just playing the Dalthy Voidwalker this turn to try to close out this game, or do we want to work towards Urza Saga tokens?
Personally, I think I would lean towards playing the Urza Saga.
That sounds good to me. Goblins
Not
is
super
not
confident.
great long term at dealing with a Merit Lodge. So a slow plan of working towards that is probably going to be good enough in most cases, especially if we are stopping our opponent's fetch lands or goblin matrons in the short term.
Right. Realistically, their answers for Merit Lage are like one Sting Scourger and sometimes a Caracas.
Okay, that will be fine against what we have going on here, but I'm not too worried. I can hit plenty of land drops. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty brutal.
Stage into needle.
Stage in a Needle.
Just absolutely disgusting here. This is this is a bit of a bullying start, and this is the power of opposition agent, right? So like our opponent has one land drop in play, a relatively dead permanent, and they've gone down a land in order to wasteland us. One thing of note here, if we play Urborg, that will turn opposing fetch lands into lands that tap for a black mana. So there is a cost to Urborg in some of these situations. Our opponent does not seem to have fetches. That is a good card in this situation. Oh, that's good. Just crash in, play map, pass with intention of cracking end of turn.
Yep.
Deck. Our decisions so far have been relatively easy, although that is like very much not going to be the case, I think, a lot of the time. Depths decks sometimes have difficult decision trees where you have to decide how risky it is for you to actually go for it. But what are you worried about from the other side right now?
Honestly, just not that worried. Wasteland is the most likely problem. Like I mentioned, they don't really have many answers for Merit Lage. oftentimes it's two or less. So
Yeah.
not too concerning game one.
Yeah, dodging the wasteland this turn, I think pretty much means we're golden. Now there are worlds where like opponent could like really combo off. Okay, that's respectable. They can junk either the Prospector or the Trash Master itself to get rid of Pithing Needle, then activate Aether Vial and do some cute stuff. But let's just get a Dark Depths. Okay, sure. All right. I feel like this is just something that's going to kill my
It
opposition
is.
agent.
So this could be a problem now.
All right. Let's grab Dark Depths. And I imagine we just make this on our turn, right?
So it's kind of a question of what do you think they have, and we don't have that much information. Um, but if you think they have a matron, then you don't want to make it, right? Because you're going to lose to the Sting Scourger. So I would probably wait till their end step because they still have 4 matrons in their deck, um, and they should only have 3 wastelands at most. If you do it on end step, then you can't get God. It feels bad if they play the wasteland, but ultimately I think you're slightly safer.
Okay. I will trust your experience as the Dark Depths master here and take your line.
And this is when they play the wasteland and make me look dumb.
All right. That's not Wasteland. I imagine that means we're golden. We could take a lot of damage here. Oh, God. That's a lot. 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have to block. So opponent can't do that. So we have to make our Merit Lodge now. Target Dark Depths, and Dark Depths can tap for mana due to the Urborg in play. Now we will keep the 1 with no counters so that we make our Merit Lodge. And we'll go ahead and block here.
I think we're supposed to block the War Chief.
What are you expecting?
I'm pretty sure the bouncy guy is 1 in a red, right?
Oh, yeah, Sting Scourger is 1 in red. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that would be a massive punish for not blocking War Chief. It didn't matter here, but yeah, absolutely should have blocked the War Chief. That was much scarier than I was expecting it to be. So I like Plague Engineer for sure here, and don't really like Duress in this matchup. I don't think.
Yeah, no, you can easily cut duress.
So
So I can use the Torpor Orb.
yeah, I like Torpor Orb a lot. Then do we just bring in
Honestly, I would just
Caracas
leave
to
in the fourth
fill?
duress.
Sorry, I just didn't hear you.
I would just leave in the 4th duress, honestly. It's not good, but it does have the chance of hitting something, and like the Caracas is completely dead.
Yeah,
You can also make an argument for bringing in Helm just because it could kill them.
okay, we can keep the Duress. But I think like Caracas as a random colorless source is medium. I think Duress is very medium on the draw as well. So it's just kind of like what's your filler card? Duress just as like a bad peak effect is not the worst, I guess. Yeah, this looks like a
We
keep to
call it
me.
good hand.
There will be some questions about like sequencing as far as what we do. But good hand is good is the short version. All right. Since we drew a second Urborg, I'm kind of into just Urborg Dark Ritual Opposition Agent into turn 2 Dark Depths Hexmage. How does that sound to you?
It sounds correct.
All right. When do we Opposition Agent? Just their end step?
I don't know. I don't think there's necessarily a downside to just doing it now.
All right. Sounds good. Dark Ritual Opposition Agent. And we don't super care if we get Wastelanded because, like, we just have another Urborg in hand.
I'm kind of happy if they wasteland us, actually.
Yeah, that sets them back on a resource. It allows their vial to tick up more, which can be scary. But again, we are not expecting opponent to have any answers to Merit Lodge at all. And Bloodstained Mire is currently turned off due to opposition agent, kind of. But, like, here is the... Oh, wow, that's really good. Alright, crash in, then do the thing.
So I don't love crashing in. The chances of us getting punished are like minimal, but if they violent a goblin, well, I guess we have the blocker anyways. Yeah,
So
so
there's no 2/2 that they play at 1 mana, right? Skirk Prospector is a 1/1, Goblin Lackey is a 1/1. Well,
yeah, that's three.
I guess there's some weird multiple removal spell lines where we might want to hold this back so we don't accidentally get hit with a Muxus. Yeah, maybe we don't need to swing. Yeah, it's probably fine either way. Alright, when do we want to make this Merit Lodge? We want to
Um,
wait to play around Wasteland or just jam since we have the opportunity to do it again a couple turns down the line?
so if we were trying to play around Wasteland, we would want to do it right away. I personally am okay waiting. I think it's more likely they have Wasteland than the other answers, and waiting is worse against Wasteland. But the thing is, we just followed up with Thespian Stage, so having Thespian Stage and Hexmage both in play is going to beat.
Alright, let's chill for a minute. I think I'm going to take this attack. Like, especially if there's some worlds where we end up chilling. There's a Lackey. Ooh, Munitions Expert, absolutely. That'll just go ahead and kill that. That's fine. Yeah, so now we can wait to just better play around single pieces of removal. Pile ticks up. And there is the Wasteland. Actually, not that big of a deal, though. Oh, now it is.
Oh, that's a problem.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, so now the way this is going to work is we're going to try to make a Merit Lodge, and then opponent is going to Wasteland. This turned around very quickly. Ugh. Yeah, and there is the Wasteland activation. So now we're basically at the mercy of the 3 cards in our opponent's hand. If one of them is something big and dumb like a Muxus, we are going to fall very far behind here. If it's not, we're okay. But like Muxus or Matron or something like that would be scary. Play Stage and pass.
Yep.
And next turn, we can play Dark Depths. The Urborg will allow it to tap for black, so we can go ahead and make our Merit Lodge. Oh, wow. I haven't mapped that out yet, but I imagine we're dead next turn.
Yep, we are dead.
uh,
Uh,
wow. That one swung around fast. Maybe we're supposed to just like play around Wasteland, just make it
yeah,
immediately.
definitely punished for that one.
Yeah, so we're taking gosh, 16 this turn. Absolutely disgusting. And we could die here to Starfire or Sling Gang Lieutenant or something. All right, a Fable of the Mirror Breaker as well. Then I wouldn't say impressed, but that is absolutely a playable legacy card. All right, I'm going to go ahead and concede here. We just fell a little short. Should have just jammed. All right,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
should
think
have
we...
thought about Aether Vial only going to 2. I think that actually tips the balance.
I don't think we change our sideboarding here. I don't think we go into Leyline Helm or anything. Um, this has a lot of uncastable cards. We could go turn 1 Urza Saga, Pithing Needle, Wasteland. Turn 2, start making constructs immediately. That is an okay route to victory, but I don't feel like it's the best versus goblins. What's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I wouldn't keep this hand. Not being able to cast your spells feels so loose. I mean, you could get there eventually because you have the expedition map. You can find the Urborg. If you've already needled Wasteland, you're turning on your spells, but it just feels so slow.
All right, this is another tough one. This would be a 6-card hand that looks something, like these. And we can go turn 1, Dark Ritual, Torpor Orb, Thoughtseize. It has half a combo piece, but just absolutely no gas at all. What are your thoughts?
I don't really like this hand either. I could see people keeping it, and I would get it. I personally am pretty okay mulliganing in general.
I agree with you. This is a worse version of the first hand.
Uh, this is depressing.
It is. So we can try to keep this and run that Urza Saga play, or we can try to keep it attempting to Plague Engineer on Goblin by drawing a black source. I am unhappy with this, but I don't know about going to 4. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar boat. I feel like I would keep this, but I'm not happy about it.
All right. I feel like it's maybe a Dalthy Voidwalker and a Thoughtseize that goes back.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right. So, do we lead on Urza Saga in hopes of playing that game where we just like Urza Saga, Ancient Tomb, or do we lead on Ancient Tomb hoping to spike the black source?
I'm leading off with Saga personally because then we know for a fact we can do something on turn two.
I agree.
Especially against Goblin Lackey. Like, I don't want them to just have turn one Lackey and then us not have anything on turn two and then they just get a free hit.
Yeah, Lackey into Muxus just ends most people. It's just very hard to recover from that. All right. We are going to see a Lackey or a Vial. No, it is just fetching around Opposition Agent. That's not the draw we're looking for. But, here's to hoping Urza Saga can do the Urza Saga thing. All right. We're just chilling. We might eat an end of turn munitions expert here. Just seems a little weird to me that the Goblin player would keep a hand that just does nothing for a couple of turns in a row. Yeah. Always be thinking about what your opponent might have. Okay, we did at least find black mana. Are we still making the construct, or do we just want to jam a Plague Engineer this turn?
I'm personally on the just jam Plague Engineer. I feel like it's so much higher upside.
I think I agree. It just, like, stops them from randomly playing something that increases, like, the power and toughness of this and their other creatures. Alright, let's float our mana then. And what do we want to get? Do we want to get Expedition Map to get another land, or do we just want to, like, Pithing Needle Wasteland preemptively?
Yeah, this one's really close. I think I personally am on map, but I definitely would not fault anyone either way. One of my things whenever these decisions are really close like this, I tend to lean towards map because if they have the wasteland, then the map can kind of replace whatever land I give up.
Sounds good. I I also think that one's very close, and I don't know the right answer. I probably would have leaned towards Pithing Needle, because, like, I don't know. Like, we just have mono black pips in our hand. No, I would have gotten map, I think. All right. Name Goblin. Get at least one Goblin worth of value out of it. We'll kind of see where this goes from here. This thing isn't necessarily safe on board forever. There are cards like Pyrokinesis or sometimes Fury in Goblins, sometimes a random Tarfire that might be able to take this out. That's not bad. So I imagine we just start with a Thoughtseize here, get information, and go from there.
Yep.
Let's see what's going on. Sudden Edict. Absolutely. That's very strong. All right, let's see what we can take out here. Holy hand. So on our end, oh man, it kind of sucks that there's multiple things here that we would potentially need to Pithing Needle. We want to shut off Wasteland so our stuff doesn't get destroyed, and we also want to shut off Goblin Trashmaster so that the Pithing Needle itself can't be destroyed.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate.
So, like, we can take Trashmaster, Pithing Needle, Wasteland, but then our opponent will be 1 mana short from just dropping a Muxus, which potentially kills us.
So the thing is, they're not even mana short, right? Because they're just going to play the War Chief, and then the next turn they have the Mux.
Yeah.
It feels really bad, but I think I would take the Muxes here. At least with all the other stuff, like they're kind of interacting on a one-for-one basis. Even if it's not necessarily the way we want to see it, at least it's not like they're pulling miles ahead like the Muxes will.
Um, what about the line where we can take Trashmaster, get Dark Depths off of Expedition Map, and hope to top deck into a black source next turn? Is that our best line towards actually winning?
It, I don't know. I think it's kind of close. I'm fine with that line though.
I just feel like our hand is bad enough that I feel like we will potentially just lose to 2 turns of beatdown from the stuff that we leave in their hand if we don't go for an actual win. I'm gonna go for it. All right. Take Trash Master. Search with map. Oh, F, this doesn't actually work.
Oh, yeah.
Because we can't
Sorry, I should have thought
Pithing
that.
Needle. Fuck. So now, okay. Now does it have to be get Thespian Stage, Pithing Needle, and hope to draw Dark Depths? Yeah,
Well,
that,
at that point, you might as well get a swamp.
sure. Okay, yeah, that's fair. All right, Swamp. Play it. Pithing Needle. Name the Wasteland so it can't target our potential top decked depths. Not a good spot.
In retrospect, I think we actually should have gotten Urborg
Yeah, you're right.
in case we draw a discard spell.
Take 2 here down to 10. And we're very potentially just dead. Yeah. I imagine Muxus coming down kills us. And not getting Urborg actually punishes us by not being able to play both of these creatures as well. Alright. I can play towards the world where we're not actually dead from that Muxus, but I think we probably messed that one up. Tough spot. That's one of those spots you go and you look at later when you have more time to think about it, and like you run through all the pure permutations. All right, let's see how bad this is. Bad.
Oh yeah, this is not good.
So I imagine that our opponent just gets like a Sling Gang Lieutenant with this Matron. Now we have to block Muxus or we die, and then Goblin Lackey just gets in. Yeah, that's death, right? 2, 4, 5, 6 plus Sling Gang sack out. Yeah. GG's. This video is sponsored in part by Top Decked, and I want to show off one of their features real quick. So, under their metagame tab, there is a separate top 8 results tab down here, where you can go and check out a lot of things that are doing well. And what's kind of cool about this is it does a lot of smaller events that might not necessarily make it into larger aggregate sites, because it also includes things that have been innately reported via the Top Decked app itself. So consider checking those out if you're ever looking for some cool stuff to play. All right, match 2, very easy mulligan here. We just do not have any black mana sources, and we only have 1 land. This one seems like a keep to me, though. What do you like putting back here?
I would put back the tomb. It's not really necessary with the rest of the hand.
I agree. Lead on. I
I'm leading on Urborg map.
think I like
It
that
gives us,
too.
yeah.
We don't care if we get wastelanded, because like an Urborg getting wastelanded means one of these lands isn't getting wastelanded.
This also gives us the ability to just top deck a Vampire Hexmage.
All right, force pitching Brainstorm. We're playing against a blue deck of some kind. We'll see whether or not it's just immediately revealed to be blue-red Delver. Feels like Delver. Yep. So kind of our next decision will probably be whether or not we just play Bob into Daze.
So I'm generally a huge believer in playing around days. Here, I would just slam depths into Confidant.
I agree with that.
I kind
Like,
of want them to daze it almost, because then if they like, I was gonna say if they pick up the land, play a cantrip, then they can't wasteland us when we go for the combo next turn.
yeah, our biggest hope is that our opponent just does not play Wasteland this turn. Because if they don't play Wasteland this turn, we just get to make a Merit Lodge with very few things that stop it. Generally speaking, there's probably going to be 1-ish outs in the main deck to a Merit Lodge. There will probably be a Brazen Borrower.
They always have it though.
They do always have it. It's some bullshit. Yeah, but the hope is opponent just like plays a red land and lightning bolts Bob. And it's looking like that's going to happen. Yeah, there it is. So Delver goes to graveyard. But we get to make Merit Lodge, and opponent will either be in the abyss of having to chump block it every turn, or just dead. This is just absolutely go for it and make them have it. Here's our 2020. Yep, there. Snap concession. Which makes me think opponent does not have game 1 Brazen Borrower, because otherwise they had the out of like cast cantrip into Brazen Borrower or naturally draw Brazen Borrower. All right, I imagine this is a matchup where we bring in the Leylines and the Helms.
Yes, so I have been doing that here.
So what is coming out? Are we getting rid of Dark Confidants since they cost us life?
So Confidant's kind of weak. Opposition Agent is not particularly great in this matchup. You can easily cut any of those. You can cut some number. Like you can just trim on things if you want. Like you can cut some number of Thoughtseize. You can cut some number of Map.
So I guess the next question is like, is Plague Engineer good enough? It becomes very good if there is a Leyline in play, because it kills the smaller stuff. Like, is this better than Thoughtseize, though?
I really like Plague Engineer on the play. I like it a little bit less on the draw.
Okay. So do we want to try this for the draw?
Yeah, I mean, if you want the Plague Engineers in, I'm not opposed.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well. Like, they're fine. It's another thing to do off Dark Ritual. Like, Thoughtseize versus Delver is kind of medium, but if your opponent is largely attacking you with like 1/1 Dragon Rage channelers because you have a Leyline, then like Thoughtseize can be used as a tool to push through a Helm. I'm fine with this on the draw, and I think I want the engineers on the play.
The other thing that's worth noting about Thoughtseize is Duress doesn't hit Brazen Borrower, so Thoughtseize is really your only answer to that. It's very possible that the deck in general should be playing a split between Duress and Inquisition of Kozilek. That's kind of what decks used to do in the past.
Yeah, and then you run into, well, the Inquisition doesn't hit the Force of Will, so like nothing's perfect. This is a pretty medium looking opening hand. It has Leyline to slow them down. It has 2 discard spells to punch a hole. It like technically has a way to win, but no Pithing Needle to like protect this. What are your thoughts here?
I'm actually okay keeping this.
Okay.
I
I
think the Leyline is just so strong in the matchup. Like if they lead with Dragon's Rage Channeler, I feel okay. If they lead with basically anything that's not Delver of Secrets, I feel okay.
Yeah, there's also something to be said about just like keeping a 7-card hand that has 2 basic lands that can't be wastelanded in the early game.
I think our opponent is just questioning their life choices right now.
Oh yeah, I have been on the other side of this where like someone opens up on a Leyline when I'm playing Reanimator, and it's like, oh no. They might be trying to figure out what their path to victory is. Like seeing that in play.
I don't know if you got a chance to look at the challenge results from, I think it was yesterday, could have been last. Yeah, it was yesterday. Enchantress with main deck Rest in Peace top aided. Me happy, and I think it's a lot of the same thing. Rest in Peace just shutting down Delver.
Ooh, I love seeing that. I really enjoy playing Enchantress. Um Turn 1 Duress.
So it depends. I kind of like leading with Thoughtseize just because the first discard spell sometimes gets dazed, and I'd rather save the life.
I buy that. This can also take a second Delver if it does resolve. Daze, Force, Bolt. These aren't like super good cards here.
Yeah. Personally, I'm taking the Bolt.
I think I like taking the Bolt. It's like we can clock back with Douthie Voidwalker, and if we can put our opponent in a situation where we like force them to force, I'm good with taking the 2-for-1. So no flip there, which means land or creature. And we'll just kind of eat 1. We're totally happy with that. And a Hex Mage. Alright, just play Urza Saga Pass and start going that route. Or, sorry, Urza Saga Duress.
Yeah, definitely cast the Duress.
Alright. Urza Saga does its thing. We'll Duress, and now, like, we can take the Force of Will if we feel like it is problematic. Alright, yeah, just play Force and be mindful of days for the rest of the game.
Yep, nice and easy.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where our opponent is just, like, praying the top card of their deck. He just revealed the Delver. They're just, like, praying the top card of their deck is a Brainstorm so that it flips Delver and allows them to shuffle away some of this junk. And this is a game where, like, that Shadow Spear that we were talking about at the beginning of the video is just very, very good. Swamp Pass or Stage Pass?
So there's also a third option. We could also just play the Hex Mage if we wanted, and the next turn we could find Expedition Map, and then get Dark Depths, and go from there.
Ooh, that's interesting. I was so thinking about just like padding my life total with Shadow Spear, but I guess that's worse against Meltdown.
Yeah, I mean, all of the options kind of have their strengths and weaknesses. I'm kind of easygoing. Like I think any of them are fine, honestly. I do think probably making sagas and then getting shadows, or not making sagas, making constructs and getting Shadow Spear is probably the safest.
All right, let's go that route. I feel pretty good about that. All right, let's see how these Delvers are doing. Flipping to Daze. So our opponent almost certainly will flip the Delvers and then fetch. Nope. Okay.
That's a bold move.
I feel like that one's just a misplay. I yeah. See how it pans out for them. Yeah, but this is just token into token into grab Shadow Spear, take the land drop, crash in for 3. We'll attack for 3, then we'll attack for 7, and we'll be gaining 3 back, which puts us to 13.
We'll get 4 back.
Or yeah, sorry, 4 back. This puts us to 6. Or sorry, this puts us to 4. Ooh. So now we will only gain 3 back instead of 4 back. Just cast Duress into Equip Shadow Spear? Or do we need to
Yeah.
or do we need
I
to
mean,
play one of these things out to play towards making Merit
well,
Lodge or something next turn?
if we play anything other than just Duress, we're dead on board.
Oh yeah, you're correct. All right. So let's cast this Duress. Yeah. All right. So we take 8 days. Go ahead and equip our Shadow Spear.
Yeah, we really did need the Delvers to not flip that turn.
Yeah, maybe that was an like the Delvers blind flipping. There would be an argument towards getting the map instead of the Shadow Spear. Okay. I think our opponent
Yeah,
is
that's it.
yeah. So we can go back up to 4. We can't block any of this stuff. I believe we're dead. Yeah. All right. GG. Now we do one on the play. And I think we do take the Plague Engineers on the play. Do we want to remove like a Thoughtseize and a Duress or 2 Thoughtseize?
She's in Duress, I think.
Sounds good. This hand looks really good to me. We have
Yeah.
turn 1 Leyline with turn 1 Pithing Needle on Wasteland.
Plus, we have a lot of artifacts, so these constructs will be a bit better than the last one.
All right, there's our opening Leyline. There's Urza Saga into Needle. Will be a good Force of Will. Nope. Nice. And Wasteland has been shut off. Now, a Meltdown will be very good against us this game since we've like committed to a Pithing Needle already. Ponder Shuffles. And I don't think anything has changed. I think we're just going Ancient Tomb into Saga Activate twice.
Yep. Ooh, Thespian Sage is a really good draw.
Yeah, so like now if the Urza Saga thing doesn't pan out, we can just make a Merit Lodge. Alright, sure. Alright, so they can fetch and clear. And they've got a threat, sure. Oh, let's go ahead and make this dude end of turn. And then do it again. So just grab Shadow Spear.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright, do we commit another artifact to the board, or do we just say this is good enough?
I think we probably play the map.
Yeah, I guess we don't really need the land here, since we have both Dark Depths and Thespian Stage kind of active already. So, like, if we lose a map in a Meltdown, it's not the end of the world. And I guess playing the map makes us better against multiple Lightning Bolts, because if we don't, now they'd have to take another artifact out of play first. Yeah, Daze is fine. Absolutely good with opponent burning resources on anything right now. Waiting to pay costs?
They're gonna surgical the saga.
Sure. They are going to be in for a rude awakening as far as the rest of this hand. Yeah, and that's just a concession. GG's. All right, round 3, we have been paired against a Yorion deck, which could mean Death and Taxes, but a lot of times recently I've been seeing like Cephalid Breakfast and Alurin Yorion decks as well. I think our opening hand is a keep. What about you?
Yeah, I would ultimately keep it too. It's super close. Not having a second actual mana producing land is really painful. But if you're able to resolve Ritual on turn one into like Thoughtseize Confidant, it's so easy to just take off from there.
Yeah, that's kind of my hope that Bob can get us into another mana producing land. Okay. So pretty easy take swords here. Try to stick Bob.
Yes, this is not what I was expecting to see.
All right. There's Bob. Yeah, and it looks like we are playing against a Yorion Stoneblade deck. So if that was on your bingo card today, good job. All right. So we can get pressured really quickly in terms of our life total by Stoneforge into Cauldra. So hopefully we can like make some land drops and work towards a quick Merit Lodge here. Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is like kind of the worst possible.
That's not great. So we'll bash in for 2 with Bob. Play a map. We will be okay if we hit any land drops still, but we really wanted a mana producing land this turn. Right, there we go. Opponent drops to 18. Slam a map. Like, map represents Thespian stage. And the combo kill, but we need more mana. Alright, Delta's fetching. I assume this is just Delta, Tundra, Stoneforge. But, like, could be wrong. An opponent could select Baleful Strix instead to stop Bob attacks. A Scrubland. Yeah, there is the Stoneforge. And there is the Cauldra, as expected. Alright, Bob. Be good to us. Okay, Urza Saga works. Do we take the turn to just Thoughtseize and take that Cauldra?
Hmm.
It's
So
awkward because this.
yeah. Um. So doing that would be reasonable. I guess the question is, let's see, if we get Thespian Stage this turn, the next turn we can make Merit Lage, but it's not necessarily safe. Probably about 3 turns until we make Merit Lage, because we'll want to Thought Seize. I yeah, I think we probably are just supposed to take the Culture Complete, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I don't think the Merit Lage is killing them in time otherwise.
Yeah, like Baleful Strix is rough. Opponent drawing like Prismatic Ending or Swords to Plowshares or anything of that nature is rough. Then drawing another Baleful Strix is rough. I guess we could
Another thing that's
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say another thing that's super awkward here is that the land we drew is Urza Saga, which is kind of bad against opposition agent.
Yeah. Oh, that's gross. What if we attack? They won't. They surely won't block with Stoneforge, right? If they
It
did,
probably won't.
yeah. Let's attack. Let's see if they, in some world, are willing to block. Because if they're willing to block and we don't have to worry about Cauldra, we can just like take this trade. Scooter, yeah, okay. All right. Thought season. Be unhappy about it.
Oh my god, that just it sounds so. Think so?
Ugh. Ugh. All right. Hey, I just have not liked the Thoughtseize situations that we have been put in throughout this league. I swear this card is respectable. It's not like one of the best cards in Legacy or anything, but it's felt fine. Oh, I thought our opponent had just, like, stepped away from the keyboard, but they were actually just thinking about this. They have opted to cast a Force of Will. Alright. I guess we'll resolve this map just in hopes of making the Urza Saga tokens larger. And I guess we can have a window next turn. Okay, they are just immediately going for the opposition agent rather than trying to put Kaldra in and aggro us down as fast as humanly possible. We're looking for lands here. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. What did they pitch to the Force? They pitched Baleful Strix. So are we just going stage, make the Dark Depths end of turn?
I'm trying to think. I kind of like it. Running into swords feels really bad, but I don't know that it's avoidable. If we lead with Doffy Voidwalker and then do the Thespian stage the following turn, like at least if they swords us, then I would say then at least if they swords us, we have the swords under the Voidwalker, and then can turn around swords their Cauldra. But I guess the issue with that is they're gonna find the pithing needle off of the off of our own or sorry, they're gonna find our pithing needle off of our Urza Saga thanks to their opposition agent, so they would turn off Thespian stage. So I do think we just have to go for it on their end step, but I don't think it's super likely to work.
Okay, I agree. Attack with Bob. Or I
Oh
guess
yeah,
we don't need to.
no, I would.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we give them the opportunity to block with that because like that can
Well,
change our lines.
they have so much pressure though. Maybe we do hold it back.
Okay. I think it's fine either way.
It's like I want their opposition agent off the board so
Yeah, is there anything else they can have other than Swords to Plowshares? I guess they could like randomly have Wasteland. Why do I talk?
uh,
Oh, that's frustrating. Oh wow.
so on the plus side, we're not getting attacked with Cauldra here.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right, so I guess we're just making.
So I think what I would do here, so you have a couple options, right? Like you could try to make the Merit Lage and they'll wasteland us and then we'll be really far behind. You can also just make a construct, untap, make a construct. I think that's a good line. I think what I would do is probably just copy the Urza Saga here.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like immediately stopped talking. I was like, wait, is that the line? It feels like that's the line.
It's awkward because they'll probably waste this the stage. That's what they should do, but I think if they mess up and don't do that, then we can get very far ahead.
All right. Here's the attempt. Okay, yeah, they are not putting up with that. All right. Okay, that's not the Vampire Hexmage. So, load of mana, then bad things happen.
Man, this is brutal. I really don't think there's a chance we win this game from here. I'm hoping to be proven wrong, but it just feels like a lot of what they're doing lines up so well.
Did they just not take anything?
They took Shadow Spear.
Oh, right. They have to. They have to cast it. Right. Okay, sorry. Okay. Is this just play Urborg, play out both of these creatures, and
Yeah.
work towards drawing a Vampire Hexmage?
Yep, that is the plan.
Does not feel good. Does not feel good at all.
And I guess them taking Shadow Spear means like this Baleful Strix will always be able to block Merit Lage too.
Yeah. Bob attack?
Yeah.
I'm fine with trading for either one of those creatures. I don't think my opponent can trade either, and I will still have a Bob held back. But it just feels like this game spirals so badly from here. Cauldra is a lot of pressure. Cauldra equipped with a Shadow Spear is an annoying amount of life gain. If they're just casting. What? Okay. Okay.
My guess is they have a second opposition agent.
Sure. That's not what we're looking for here. All right. Life's not good. There's nothing fun in opponent's exile zone for us to get with Douthy Voidwalker. Yeah. All right. We're chilling. I don't think attacks do any good from here. I could just put in Caldra. Yeah, that's happening. This deck did win a challenge. I swear it's reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, so far this has not been the best showing for the deck, but the deck is actually quite powerful and good. It has some amount of consistency issues, which I think we've seen some of,
All right,
but
are we
it
just
definitely is very powerful.
eat this 6 damage?
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Like, I feel like we're basically dead next turn no matter what. Like, I can chump block with a Bob, but trample. Alright, and Yorion goes to hand. Alright, Bob, what are we working with? Another Bob. That's me in stages. We just can't beat the trample here, right? Or no, I guess we could if opponent doesn't attack in with other stuff. Yeah, so play a Bob as another body is fine. And then we can intend on throwing everything under the bus.
Also, if you make Merit Lage and they swords it, then we can swords their thing.
Yeah, there's worlds, right?
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, so now we just block with all 3 Bobs to absorb damage. That goes to 21. That's so inconvenient. Ah! Alright. Goodbye, Bobs. Yeah, I guess there's also just like a Baleful Strix in the way as well. Sure, Brainstorm's fine. Do we have any outs from here, or should we just like concede?
No, no outs.
Alright,
Um,
let's move on then. We've fought the uphill battle for long enough.
yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Alright, is this a Leyline Helm matchup?
It, maybe. They have so many ways to deal with Merit Lage that it's definitely possible.
Yeah, like, we're not really cutting them off much by getting rid of their graveyard, but I just kind of feel like the Merit Lodge plan is not working most of the time. Yeah, let's bring this in. What don't we want?
So what we can do, if we're like hard convinced that Merit Lage is just never getting there, we can actually just cut 4 Dark Depths for Hexmage.
All right.
The maps are still good because they can find
Urza
Urza
Sagas.
Saga and Stages are still good because copying a saga is kind of insane.
I could buy this.
I would also bring in the Torpor Orb.
I agree with that. Our opponent randomly does have Wasteland, so we probably want to keep some number of Pithing Needles.
Yeah, I would just kind of map.
Sounds fine. So we've just cut Dark Depths, which isn't a mana producing land, but sometimes is a mana producing land with Urborg. Like, do we want a to board in a random another land to help fill that deficit, or is this just fine?
I think this is fine, but I also am not upset to board in the Caracas, especially with them having Yorion. I know that's not an ideal creature to put back in their hand.
Yeah, like, should we just do
But
something like that?
yeah, seems reasonable.
They're also playing an 81 card deck rather than an 80 card deck. Okay. This feels like a mulligan despite the fact that it has both Leyline and Helm. You good with that?
Yeah, it makes me sad.
Yep.
but I get it.
This is a better version of the previous hand. I think we keep this one.
Yeah, I'm keeping this.
Yeah, we keep this. We throw back a Leyline. We start on Urza Saga, Pithing Needle, Wasteland. This'll do. But like, absolutely feeling the hurt in the mana base here of trying to get away with so many colorless lands in this deck. We have opened up on a decent number of hands that actually cannot produce black mana, which is kind of huge.
Yeah, so at first I tried a mono black version of the deck. Well, I mean it is mono black, but what I should have said is a version without ancient tombs. And I just felt like it was very hard casting the 4 drops. So I decided I wanted ancient tomb. The person who won the challenge independently came to the conclusion they wanted ancient tombs. Into play, who has been putting in work on the deck, also independently came to the conclusion they wanted ancient tombs. But ever since trying them, they have been kind of rough on the mana base. So I'm not really sure what is correct or
God.
not.
Ugh. This stings because we're 1 mana away from killing, and we don't have like a Lotus Petal or anything. Okay. I guess we can draw Dark Ritual. All right. Do we make a token to hit our opponent for a couple points of damage?
Might as well. 2 for 2.
Yeah, seems fine. Come on, Dark Ritual. Damn it. All right. So I guess we can just get a map and just turn that into a new Urza's Saga. I don't know that that's better than just like playing an opposition agent though.
So they only have white mana in play, right?
Yeah.
They haven't.
Yeah, they have Plains Caracas.
So opposition agent could be good if it stops them from getting other colors. Having no pressure is pretty bad, but we do have the map in our hand.
I think I like just getting a Pithing Needle, just throwing it away, and playing main phase opposition agent.
Yep, I'm on board.
Pithing Needle. We're gonna name +2 mace here, I think. Just feels good. And let's. Guess I can actually that for black. Don't have to play around days right now. Got a lightning bolt worth of damage out of our Urza Saga token before everything went to shit.
Yeah, that feels really bad.
Oh, okay.
And that feels good.
That does feel good. Uh, play map, search up Dark Depths right now around an
We don't
opposition
need
agent.
Dark Depths in our deck.
Fuck.
We also wouldn't want Dark Depths because they have Caracas.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good point. Good point.
But yeah, let's get a Saga.
All right. There's map. Going to search up now. While they can't have opposition agent. Grab Saga. Play Saga. I think we crash in for the 3.
I don't see why we wouldn't.
It's just like if you're randomly playing Cathar Commando. Yeah, okay. That's fine. So, do you have a fetch land? No. Okay, they kept their hand based purely on the strength of Serenity there.
Serenity and Caracas and Swords, right? If they think we're still going to be in a Merit Lage plan, all those cards are actually quite good.
Seems fine to Duress. See what's going on over there. Yeah, we will take a Cauldra. Their only option. They have reasonable cards in hand, but 0 ability to cast them. Okay. The hell of a top deck, but hopefully they don't have another piece of equipment. Oh, they have a Batter Skull. All right. So let's make some
So
things here.
I was going to say you should set an upkeep stop
For what reason?
to turn the stage into a Saga, so it goes up to 1 at least right away.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I missed that. That is what it is. I assume we're just pithing needling Stoneforge here.
I don't. Are we supposed to? I mean, you would be better at figuring out with the equipment, but are we supposed to name Jite or Stoneforge?
I feel like we can potentially beat the Jitte. I don't know that our constructs are going to beat that Batter Skull getting into play, though, right?
Hmm. I think they can get bigger than that Batter Skull, assuming we copy the Saga. Yeah, I think you're right though.
Okay. Do we still copy stage now? Or do we still
Oh, I would copy.
okay. Alright, so target Urza Saga. So we're not making tokens with this then. So I guess I should just tap this for mana. Yeah. And Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle the Mystic. Play a new Thespian stage. And pass the turn holding this back to block Stoneforge in combat if they go for a Jitte attack. Yeah, not having that upkeep stop set was huge. Oh, sure. So it seems like they're going to just hold up opposition agent this turn. Do we want to copy anything else with Thespian stage?
So it seems like there's no reason not to turn it into an ancient tomb.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think it'll be super relevant. So like maybe we should save the 2 life, but there's a chance it comes up.
Let's save the life. Close. Okay. So I think we just play out the helm this turn. Don't think we need to hold up stage copying anything else here.
Sounds reasonable.
And now we can potentially just find a Douthie Voidwalker or a Leyline and just get a kill. Oh, there's an opposition agent. Opponent is fetching. I'm really surprised opponent isn't going much more aggro on this Jitte. Yeah, sure. All right, cool. So are we just going to kind of let this thing disappear, or are we going to kind of like work on copying something else so that it can just be a constant token producer? What's kind of our long-term plan here?
I would keep it around.
So that means I just need to set an upkeep stop for my next turn, right? So we can make the token with it this turn and then upkeep turn it into something else.
Yep. Well, so you actually don't need an upkeep stop for it because you probably want to do it when it goes up to 3 because you still get the surge.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. I haven't played with this much. So we have the mana to go ahead and just play this turn. Fine. Or actually, we do want the upkeep stop because we don't want to search because of opposition agent, actually.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, searching bad.
That a stop there.
Typically, searching is good. Silly me.
This is a weird matchup. I don't want to be playing this matchup. Field of Ruin.
Yeah, yes, that's a thing.
Yeah, I guess it forces a search with opposition agent. Okay.
So, hold on.
Yep.
Oh,
What were you going to say?
if we waited, we could have done that on our upkeep still. And then if they, or rather, we could have tried to copy something, and then when they field of ruin it, we could have Thespian staged the second one into an Urza Saga, so we still had the token making coming.
We didn't get Field of Ruined immediately, which I'm on board with.
Well, they want us to search, right?
Yeah, so that just means we should attempt to copy something else here.
So yeah, but we should use the second Thespian stage and turn it into an Urza Saga first.
Okay. Let's attempt to target that and see how our opponent reacts. It might react by Field of Ruining this, at which point we can make a token. Okay, they're letting that happen. Now we just, like, try to copy their basic planes.
Yeah. So not to be too alarming, I just noticed our time.
Yeah, we have, I think we just should have conceded that other game significantly earlier, rather than playing towards, like, 2% outs. I think we need to win this game or we're losing. Alright. So I don't think we can aggro out through that Jitte. I think we're just looking to draw the other half of the Helm of Obedience combo. And at this point, I'm just going to kind of F6 through my opponent's turns and see what happens. Another Field of Ruin? Opponent's deck is wild. Okay, that's another field activation. Just in terms of little optimization things, I also should have left Caracas untapped because Fibblethip is technically a legendary creature that I could bounce. All right, assuming Stoneforge Mystic swings in, do I just... Oh, nope. Okay, cool. Duress. A Leyline.
Oh hey.
So we know opponent has Plague Engineer, Batter's Skull, Baleful Strix, one mystery card. Do we just attempt to go for the win this turn?
I would just for time constraints.
Yep. All right. Leyline. Helm activation. Opponent has one unknown card. Okay. We do have to win another game. Do any Dark Depths come in given that?
It's so hard because I don't think that's realistically actually going to win, you know?
I agree with you. Do we play one?
Also, it's also like there's 4 minutes.
Yeah. Like, do we do something like this and just play one so that we can tutor it with map if we find ourselves in that sort of situation?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I am just kind of hoping that we can play the sort of game where we just tap out. This seems like a mulligan. Just like do not have black sources. Junk that. Um Turn one, Dark Ritual, Dalthy Voidwalker. Turn 2 Urza Saga, turn 3 Ancient Tomb Helm, turn 4 Goldfish. This feels like a keep, I think.
Yep.
Are we just throwing back Bob?
Yep.
That is absolutely just... Alright, opponent goes first. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Stealthy Voidwalker. Okay, that is getting a response from opponent. I'm going to get rid of this upkeep stop on my own turn. And we'll be F6 in turns. Turning card sideways. Hoping it works. Double tip, absolutely. We're just going to go turbo here. I'm just going to play this in case I happen to draw another Ancient Tomb next turn. And I'm not going to represent opposition agent. I'm just going to F6. So I really should be doing that. Okay. Baleful Strix is fine. Not taking attacks. Okay, cool. I'm going to play Urza's Saga this turn. In case the Helm stuff doesn't pan out next turn. Jam Helm. Crash in for 3. Alright.
Not super surprising.
No, like, absolutely expecting interaction from the opponent. Take 2. And we can start trying to play an Urza's Saga game. Doesn't, like, work great versus the stuff that's on board currently, but do what we can. Pithing Needle, sure. We name Field of Ruin?
Maybe.
Like, we've seen one Wasteland, we've seen multiple Field of Ruin. Okay, yeah, you can brainstorm. I actually probably need to reset this stop.
Have we seen an Aether Vial yet?
Yeah, do we name their Marsh Flats since they didn't fetch?
Uh,
Is that crazy?
sure.
Let's do it. So am I upkeep copying Urza Saga with Thespian Stage?
Yes.
Yeah. I probably need to just, like, activate my Urza Saga and just F6 for the time. Don't know that I can click through all the other parts of their turn safely, just in terms of long-term clock. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, there's a token. And then upkeep. Copy this. Go to draw step. Make a mana with that. If they have an opposition agent, that will make me sad. They don't. Just grab Spear.
Yeah. Or actually, I think we were supposed to needle the field there.
Okay, yeah, that's reasonable too. Play map, equip Sphere.
Sounds good.
There's map. Crash in, trade with the Baleful Strix now.
Yep.
Alright. Okay, yeah. Swords is quite good here. We've got this whole recursive Urza Saga thing going on. But I'm hoping to just top deck something that just kills with Helm, honestly. That's the direction that I think it is, just physically faster to win the game with. Alright. Stoneforge is very bad. Aldra's just tough to beat. Oh, maybe it's not with Shadowspear in play, though. Oh, we boarded in 1 Dark Depths.
You know, I was just thinking about that. They've already used 2 swords. What are the odds they have another?
Yeah, that feels like it's probably the line. So we just search for depths, just copy it immediately, equip the Shadowspear, kind of hope for the best.
Should we just do a main phase? I don't think we've seen an ending.
Yeah, let's do it main phase. Alright. Here's to hoping that they don't have opposition agent. We don't. Dark Depths. Play Dark Depths. Copy Dark Depths. Keep the one without counters. Played my land. And we'll see how that goes.
I really kind of hope that they answer it, but then we draw a Leyline.
Fuck!
Ooh.
God!
That
Alright.
was okay, step 1.
Okay. That's kind of rough. The duress. That probably doesn't do anything right now. Cast a Pithing Needle. We'll activate. Put in Cauldra. Response. Sure. There's the Stoneforge activation. Oh, fuck. They have Cauldra too, right? Am I crazy? No.
No, we haven't seen Cauldra.
Alright, rename Field of Ruin, I guess.
Honestly, you can just concede there's 45 seconds on our clock. Well, actually, no,
We get one more draw, right? 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. We get one more draw towards Leyline or Doughty
mm,
Voidwalker. And we can cast a Duress first. Alright. Womp. That doesn't do it. Alright, concede.
that was
GG's.
an interesting match, though.
Yeah, that was an interesting match. A lot of weird things that it was very difficult to play around. Like,
Were we supposed to play around Flicker Wisp? I don't think so.
I don't think we were supposed to play around that. Like we had not seen one. I think it was much more important to play around the Field of Ruins that we had seen at least two of, plus the waste. Or no, I guess Field of Ruin was Pithing Needled. So
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
yeah, I think it was better to play around the Wasteland that we knew existed rather than the Flicker Wisp that we didn't. All right, GG's. All right, round 4 here. How do you feel about keeping a Urza Saga Pithing Needle hand?
They're not my favorite, but they're workable, especially having the Ancient Tomb. Just being able to lead, like with the Pithing Needle and Land, make two sagas can just win games.
Yep, sounds like that to me. I will say, I feel like we're trying to open this way a, like, surprising amount of the time. Like, I conceptually kind of viewed the whole, Urza Saga thing as, like, the backup plan, but it's often being the primary plan.
Yeah,
Okay?
I don't think we're getting the draws that support really support leading with the Dark Depths plan.
Yeah. Alright. So we will try to do the whole Urza Saga construct plan and see if we end up racing Delver. Flips to Force.
Yeah, one of the things that's super interesting is like we only play two Ancient Tombs, and just consider how often we've drawn them.
Yeah. So opponent started to tap mana for something and then untapped this land, so I think this is about to eat a lightning bolt. That is correct. Oh, that is kind of what I intended on searching up. So I guess that plan has changed. All right.
I think I would just get a map.
Yeah, like Pithing Needle and naming Scalding Tarn is cute, but I think it's probably just better to put the map into play. All right. So here's the question. What is the play? We have 3 castable cards. 2 of these resolving grows this out of a lightning bolt range. But playing Duress means that I can actually resolve the Shadow Spear and start actually gaining life. We know opponent has force.
So I feel like I would be leaning towards Needle. This is like I know it's not correct. I just kind of always assume my Delver opponent has a Daze in their opening hand, and we don't really care if this Needle resolves. Like if it resolves, it's nice because it grows us out of bolt, like you mentioned. But if it gets dazed, like that's kind of the best possible.
All right. We've shut off Wasteland. We've shut off Scalding Tarn. We have a 4/4 that plays outside of Lightning Bolt range. And then next turn, we'd like to draw any land so that we can play Duress into Shadow Spear, equip it. That's air quotes the plan. That is not a land. The situation is not good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's not ideal. um, Definitely not ideal. I'm still like kind of okay dressing them, taking likely force of will, cracking the map, getting a swamp, playing the Shadow Spear, actually getting an Urborg, not a swamp.
Oh, that is getting a force, pitching a Murktide Regent. All right. Are we still cracking? I guess we can swing first. We'll drop our opponent to 14. Alternatively, is there a world where we just don't crack the map this turn
There is.
and just try to play Shadow Spear, equip it next turn to gain 5 instead of 4?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I think I am too.
There's a lot of possible plays here.
Yeah, yeah. This is not good. So we get cracked for 6, go down to 4. We get hit with Ancient Tomb going to 2, gain 5 up to 7. Okay, so we're not dead. That's actually interesting. That kind of helps us play around Daze effects. Actually, that means we could not use life if we wanted to. Yeah. So let's cast this, see if it resolves. It does. Not in a situation where the Merit Lodge helps us. We'll just
Yeah, no, definitely want to
die
keep
to
it
the
moving.
second Delver. Alright. Cast Shadow Spear. Paying the 1. A Force of Will effect on this beats us. Alright. So I can equip this, gain 6, go to 10. Or we could be at 8 instead.
So I think we want to stay up on life because otherwise, uh, it's
Lightning
just
Bolt.
so dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. And now we're just playing the game of, like, hope opponent doesn't have Brazen Borrower. Puts him to 8. I guess another flying creature also starts to become problematic. Oh, double bolt.
If they have double bolt, why don't they just kill us?
I don't know, but I'm very happy about it.
Okay. I. The worst part is we're probably still gonna lose.
Yeah,
So
we're
like,
still gonna lose. But it is absolutely feel bad. All right. Is there any world in which we crack this expedition map and have a win somehow?
hmm. So, yes, if we no, never mind. We would have to play 2 lands.
Yeah, I think we're dead.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. And just by the way, for the people at home, if you want to get better at Magic, one of my biggest recommendations is rewatch matches you've played and look for the things you missed, because that's a great example of like opponent going, I can double bolt this thing and remove it, and not looking at my life total. All right. So what do we do before? Leylines in, Helms in. I think we did Plague Engineers in on the play. What do we do? Bob's out. 2-ish. Thoughtseize is out. What else did we do? Opposition agents out?
We cut a single duress, I think, last time.
Yeah,
Yeah, we took opposition agents.
yeah, and that would be the missing 3. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. This seems fine to me. It's a little slow, but like it has a Leyline and a Pithing Needle for Wasteland.
Yeah, I like this. I don't know if it'll come up or not, but something that's kind of fun you can do in this matchup is shrink their Murktide Regents with your Vampire Hexmage.
Ooh, that is saucy. That's one that has not come up for me yet in any games.
Yeah, I mean, it won me a game this past week.
Very nice. All right, let's. Ooh, nice. So Wasteland is immediately off. Graveyards are immediately off. I like where this is starting. We don't want our opponent to have Delver. And we have succeeded. Now we're just hoping to hit a land drop in 2 draws. We'd like to do it naturally. Yeah, Bobble is kind of whatever here. That's fine. They get their card. Oh, yeah. Great. So we'll just go ahead and use Expedition Map. We can use that to make our next land drop. There's worlds where it just ends up finding an Ancient Tomb. We'll kind of see, though. See what opponent has. It feels like Meltdown, maybe? Yeah, it's a Meltdown.
Hmm, that is unfortunate.
Very good, because that takes away our 3rd land drop. That's technically a 3rd land drop. I guess since, like, realistically, we're probably winning this game with Helm, we just play this out. But I wish we had an Urborg. Kind of hoping for the no Wasteland this turn. No Shuffle with the Ponder. Let's draw some more mana sources. That's not a mana source. I'm not worried yet because we're not getting clocked, but I feel like we're falling behind.
Yeah, I I feel
Like all it is going to take is a Delver slipping into play and flipping for me to feel bad about this game. There's the first half of that equation. Land. No. I suppose just for mana efficiency, we just cast this now.
yeah. Especially because, like, if we draw a land, we want
Just
to
get
just
to attempt Plague Engineer or Vampire Hexmage, depending on how things look. All right, there's a force. They've got something they want to protect, which I'm nervous about. So this is now a like fresh Delver. Opponent does not know the top of their library. Just revealed Wasteland to us. Uh oh, well, no, that's probably correct. Okay, that's rough. That's a very aggressive set of lines, though.
yeah, I don't
Okay.
really know why they felt the need to do that at
Yeah.
sorcery speed.
It doesn't matter because we just have an absolute clunker of a hand. Uh, I felt so good about this hand too, which is like the worst part here.
Well, it's not over.
No, no, it's not over, but it's definitely feel bad. I also think, um, I don't think opponent has played this one optimally. I just kind of feel like them dumping a Brazen Borrower into play and just increasing their clock to 6 a turn probably is better than casting this. Ugh.
Continually missing on lands with these strategies is just one of the worst feel bads.
Oh yeah. I guess we take the bolt. Damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
I don't think we
there's
have
a lot.
any path to victory here. So assuming Delver flips off that Ponder, rating hit for 6 twice. 12. I guess the bolt is 15. Yeah. If we take Expressive Iteration, opponent can just like cast Murktide and then kill us with bolt the next turn. Ugh. Yeah, I think we're on 0 outs. Are you fine conceding?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to the next round and try to get this deck to do something.
We
All right, final round here. We're looking at a double discard hand that has Douthie, Voidwalker, and Vampire Hexmage, but is missing combo pieces. This one feels medium to me. What do you think?
This one, yeah, I'm kind of with you. It's a shame, right? Because it's so close to being good. Like if you draw Dark Ritual, then getting to play the opposition agent on turn 2 is really powerful. Or getting to play like Hexmage and Voidwalker, and then you're just like one top deck away from having a Merit Lage.
I
It,
I I
I don't
lean towards this one being a mulligan, but if you say you want to keep it, I would be okay with that. I'm just like not excited about this.
No, I agree with you. I would also mulligan this. I could definitely see people keeping it, and like I wouldn't fault them for that.
All right. Assuming we would throw back the other Dark Ritual, this just casts Dark Ritual, Bob, Shadow Spear on turn 1. Is that fine for a 6?
I think this one's also pretty bad. Personally, I would keep it because I have an unhealthy love for Dark Confidant, but I don't think it's correct to keep it at the same time.
I am in the same position as you. I don't know how well we're going to do mulliganing into Oblivion here. Our opponent is going to 5, so our opponent might be doing something degenerate. But let's see if Bob can go the distance. The good news is that if opponent is playing something degenerate, then, we have a Bob that can stick around. Elves? Abundant growth. We didn't see a Yorian. Our opponent, like, legit playing Enchantress?
It's definitely a possibility.
Alright, feels like we just play both our cards here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. Okay. Is this the blink thing? Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature until it leaves the battlefield. You can discard it to exile target. Okay, sure. I don't know this one either. As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white spirit cleric token. Okay. Then this is the cantrip. Yeah.
Ugh, their hand is really bad, so part of me like is leaning towards hand trip, but I'm pretty sure we're just supposed to take the elephant grass because we can't beat it.
I agree with that. All right, so let's go elephant grass. Do we just play the stage here? Seems fine
Yeah.
too. Toss out a map. Crash in for 2. And a lot of this game is just going to be like how quickly can opponent do the things that they want to do. Oh, Sithis is a very good draw there. See what we get off Bob. So this is legendary. There are worlds where we fish out a Caracas and just bounce that.
Oh, well, Caracas isn't in the main.
Oh, no. Okay.
So, otherwise, I'd be kind of on board, but just thought seizing them, finding Dark Depths is pretty good here.
All right. So, Thoughtseize. These things fly. No. All right. Do we take the Touch the Spirit Realm? Or do we take
Yeah,
the...
we have to.
Oh, yeah, because it has the channel ability as well. All right. There's no reason why we have to make the decision about map now, right?
No.
All right. So there's an abundant growth. There are worlds where opponent can just get above 21 life by playing a bunch of enchantments. Paladin class. Okay. So Sithis has drawn a bunch of cards already. And now we'll poke us for one. I think we're just staying on that Dark Depths plan. Yeah. We'll see what Bob gives us. Oh, an opposition agent. Is that good? I guess we can leave it up. Yeah, just play depths, attack, and pass.
Yep.
I think we very much do not want to make a sorcery speed Merit Lodge whenever possible. Alright. Oh. So with this, as long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creature you control have flying and vigilance. Things got tough. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Copious Sprawl. Sure. Okay. So conceptually, what's the path to victory? Pithing Needle, Caracas, and then trample through?
I think so. I think we are too far behind for that to work, but that does seem to be the plan.
Oh, that's...
This is
No! Paladin class. Damn it. Alright. So let's take one from Sithis. Do we want to copy anything with Thespian Stage? Feels like copying the Caracas is okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright. We've got a Caracas of our own. We can bounce Sithis. That's worth something. Alright. Geez, we're at 8 already. Urza Saga, Opposition Agent, pass.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should also just bounce the Sithis now and force them to use the mana. But that's not exactly feel good either, because that just gives them another creature. I feel dead. I didn't expect to hold over and die to Enchantress. Thought we were good.
Yeah, no, we're quite dead. Probably dead this turn.
Yeah, I don't know that our life total is literally reduced to 0 this turn. But, like, this might be the turn where things are just insurmountable. Opponent is drawing 2 cards per enchantment now. Where you cast an enchantment? Oh, okay, there it is. And these level up. And the double strike just literally will kill us next turn. Assuming any number of spells cast. Alright, do we just trade for that creature with Opposition Agent? It lets them fetch.
I mean, yeah, it probably doesn't really make a difference.
I agree. I think we're dead either way. Alright. Bob, what do you got for us? A duress. That's not gonna do it. Alright. I think this is a fine point to concede. Alright, let's go to the next game.
It looks like the opponent is either a friend or a fan.
Or in a video for this week. Alright. I think the Merit Lodge plan is fine. That said, we also might just want the Leyline Helm plan, since it dodges the removal and the chump blockers.
Yeah, I actually don't think Merit Leech is particularly good against their deck. I do think the Helm plan is probably good.
So let's assume these come in. Is there a world where we want this junk?
I was actually just thinking that to myself too. Their deck is slow enough that that package could be good.
So I don't.
Ultimately, here's the real thing. We're on the last round of this video. Do we want to go the whole video and not bring it in?
You make a very compelling argument. All right, jank in. Honestly, like these are also cards that we could consider too. Like Caracas to bounce Sithis is not insane, but reasonable.
Yeah, I like having Caracas in.
Plague Engineer for the spirits and the Argothian Enchantress is reasonable as well.
Oh man, we're bringing in a lot of cards.
Yeah, all right. So I don't know that all this stuff gets to come in. I don't really love discard in this matchup.
That's reasonable.
I don't know that we cut the Thought Seizes. I don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe this looks like this. Do we just like full on cut this stuff?
I think so.
So if we full on cut those, we could keep 2 Thought Seizes. Or we could keep 1 Dark Depths in the deck.
So I just feel like between Elephant Craft, the I can't think of what it's called, the stupid thing that they channel, the Caracas. I just feel like it's so hard for Merit Lage to ever connect with them. They also play Cast Out sometimes. They're often above 20 life.
All right, I'm going to keep 1 and just trim 1 Pithing Needle.
So I guess, yeah, I was about to say, what is Pithing Needle doing?
I don't know. Maybe we should have cut more of those. All right. This is like an almost hand. It has Douthie Voidwalker and Helm, but not the mana to actually cast both now. Is just turn 1 Dark Ritual, Douthie Voidwalker, Thoughtseize good enough that we keep this since we have the other half of the combo in hand?
I think I'm keeping this. I actually don't think I'm Dark Ritualing it out, though.
All right, so you want to try to hit land drops and then use Dark
I
Ritual
think,
to cast Helm later?
I think so. Do you think that's too greedy?
I think it's reasonable. Like, sometimes you can just poke a hole in an Enchantress hand by taking their primary Enchantress effect. Yeah. So, like, we can take Argothian Enchantress here and buy so much time.
Do we take do we take Enchantress or do we take the Sprawl?
Oh, that's so greedy.
It is really greedy, right? Because the Enchantress gets them going, but without the Sprawl, they don't have white mana, and they don't have 2 mana. So like, I think they kind of need like they're very common draw steps, but they do need them to go right.
I don't know. Maybe if we're trying to rely on Douthie Voidwalker, we do just take Utopia Sprawl. You might be
I
right.
think it takes Sprawl.
Okay. Yeah, that's a weird one. Yeah. Do we play Urza Saga this turn?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So just play Map and Shadow Spear past the turn?
So this turn, I think I'm actually okay playing the Ritual, because if we go Ritual into Voidwalker map this turn, next turn the Urza Saga goes to 2, we can find Ancient Tomb, and then the following turn we can cast the Helm.
Okay. I will buy that. All right, there's the Voidwalker. Here is the Expedition map, and we'll just play out the Shadow Spear as well. Call it a turn, and just kind of hope to dodge white mana here for a turn cycle or 2. Oh,
Oh, perfect.
so we can just floop the Helm into play if we want, and just say, you need to draw a white source or you're dead next turn. Is that the line, or do we just find the Ancient Tomb this turn?
I think we still get the Tomb because I think even if they draw the white source, they're very likely to just like. Do we think they'll cast the on thin ice anyways? I guess is the question.
I don't know. I'm willing to find out. Because it just like looks like we're in like a desperate aggro sort. Well, maybe not desperate, but it looks like we're trying to play an aggro game, and they can wait a turn on that. All right, cool. We'll just float a mana here. I guess just grab a map in case something goes wrong. Dark Ritual, Helm activate.
Oh, they're actually giving us their information.
All right. Let's take a quick look here. See if there's anything. Curse of Silence. Is that the 1-mana one? Yeah. That's fine. Is there anything else? Weird. Destiny Spinner was expected. Looks like 2 Destiny Spinners. Yeah, opponent doesn't actually have that many win conditions. Okay. All right. So our Pithing Needles can name Destiny Spinner, and that is a reasonable way to make it harder for our opponent to win. Do we want to change anything that now that we're on the draw?
Um,
Like,
uh,
Opposition Agent isn't exactly great on the draw.
yeah, that's fair. I'm okay replacing opposition agent with more hand disruption. I
Yeah,
think
like,
I like the thought sees this more than you do.
yeah, take like 2 Thoughtseize and a Duress in. How many Pithing Needles do we want to play? Is it just like play 1 as an Urza Saga target, or do we actually want to draw those and like just more consistently shut off Destiny Spinner?
That is a good question. I think 2 or 3 is a reasonable number. I don't think you really.
Let's play 2. I wouldn't be sad to draw 1, but I don't necessarily feel like it's a particularly potent card. I think I'm on board with this. You good?
Yep.
So I think this is a hand where we are not going to Dark Ritual out the Bob, since we've seen our opponent playing a bunch of 1-mana white removal cards. I think we just save this Dark Ritual to try to Helm kill.
I wonder what they name.
Might be Helm. Oh, they've named Dark Ritual. Fair. So is Swamp our play, or do we just play Karakas to blank Sithis as a card they could play?
I don't think there's any downside to playing Caracas, right? Like, what are we getting punished by?
Like we'd play Bob for Douthie Voidwalker, or we'd play Bob over Douthie Voidwalker on current board. So yeah, I think this is fine. That Curse of Silence like absolutely slowed us down though. I think fine. We will just play the Bob over Douthie Voidwalker as we discussed. If opponent removes it, they remove it. But I would. Oh wow, they're playing out that Boseiju rather than using it as a land, or sorry, rather than using it as a spell. Yeah, that's fine. They're not drawing cards while doing any of this, though. So I am quite good with this situation. Is there another side to this? Yeah. You have hexproof.
Whew, that is that is unfortunate.
Yeah, Curse of Silence bought them the time required. I mean, we can just stage into depths, though, and whack them for 20. That sounds good to me. Do we have any reason to hold up a Thespian stage, or can we just play out the Helm in case we have to make Urza Saga tokens a little larger later?
Um, yeah, no, I think we're fine to play the helm.
I guess playing Helm means if they go Sithis into another card, they will get to draw a card anyway. Alright. Yeah, there is a Sithis. I guess if they Sithis and chain a couple things together, we could have prevented some of it. Alright, goodbye, Douthie Voidwalker. And seems like that's what they've got. Yeah, so I'll just bounce Sithis in their upkeep. And probably win. I guess they can cycle that one, or not cycle, channel that one removal spell.
Touch the spirit realm. They could also
Yes.
have Boseiju.
Yeah, I think it is better to wait, though. Because, like, they do have sorcery speed options. Curse of Silence is fine. Karakas, at this point, not doing as much against Sithis as we might like. But if this whole plan doesn't work, we still can just make relatively large Urza Saga tokens. They've named Opposition Agent, which I believe is sitting in our sideboard. Yes. But they just feel the need to safely fetch. Okay, and another fetch. Okay, and that's a concession. We'll take it. So we end up 2-3 in this league. So, as a depths expert, what's your evaluation of the deck list?
So I still think the deck could probably use some fine tuning. That was definitely not the best display, right? We made very few merit lages, actually, I feel. And, that's not a great sign. I still think the deck is good. I don't know that it's better than Green Black Depths, which feels like a weird thing to say because I know that's not a deck many people are playing right now. But, like, the way I think of it, your best starts in this deck are still, like, Urborg and a Thoughtseize and a turn 2, like, Dark Depths, Vampire Hexmage. And that's just something you can do so much more reliably in the green black builds. They don't get the cool backup plan of like Leyline Helm, but adding crop rotation and Elvish Reclaimer gives you a lot more consistency. This version is notably cheaper, so it's got that going for it.
Yeah, I also just like legit don't know if the deck is playing enough like actual factual black sources. So like when it boils down to it, this deck has 10 like initial black sources. The Dark Ritual can help get you to these double pip cards, but it felt to me so frequently that like we just did not have black mana to cast spells, and so we ended up keeping like Urza Saga Ancient Tomb hands. I would be interested in trying to squeeze a couple more black sources into this deck. Like, I don't know that you can cut the Ancient Tombs because, like, Ancient Tomb Urza Saga is an important line, but, like, in the hands where you don't have one of these 10 cards, I feel like you're just fighting uphill for a huge portion of the game or trying to use an expedition map to get a swamp, which is really feel bad.
Yeah, there's definitely some tension in the mana base. Um, I don't know if you need more swamps or even if you could just play maybe some number of Lotus Petals and or Chrome Mox and or even Mox Diamond. Uh, I know Lotus Petal was something I was definitely interested in trying, even as just something you can find off of Saga. And so I mentioned this on my podcast last week, but imagine how good it would feel to go turn 1 Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize, Vampire Hexmage, Dark Depths, make a Merit Lage.
That's the dream. That is the dream. Yeah. So I expect to see people messing around with this a little more, but I don't know that this has the long-term staying power of some of the other builds of depths, where those like wax and wane. But this is cool deck design space that's being explored here. All right. Do you have any closing thoughts here? You want to plug yourself on social media or any of your stuff?
Yeah, so I think, those kind of were my closing thoughts, but if people want to find me, ask, any questions about this or any other version of Jabs, you can find me on Twitter at Expedition Map, and you can find me every Wednesday on the Dark Depths podcast.
All right. Thank you very much for joining me today. Folks, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button on your way out. It helps out a lot. And if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and throw those in the comments, and I'll do my best to address them. Have a great rest of the day, folks. See ya.